Welcome to another episode of What's for Design. Today we have the amazing and super talented Fiorella Granda. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi, Fiorella. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
Super fan of your work, and I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you. I'm a huge fan of your work too. So it's an honor to be here. And also for you to be my friend too.
Likewise. I had an amazing time last year when we met, and we got to spend time together. So what's for design today? What are we cooking?
What's for design today is ceviche peruano, or also known as Peruvian ceviche. I know a lot of other Latin American countries have their own version of ceviche. I obviously think the Peruvian one is the best. So we're gonna be making classic Peruvian ceviche today.
We do, I guess, like, first it's delicious, and I guess every country adds their own spin. But
Blair, yeah.
like originally, we all know and respect there is, Peruvian, and that's one of the best cuisines that we have in Hispanic countries. I love Peruvian cuisine, and I'm very excited because I love ceviche, but I've never prepared myself. So I'm excited for you to guide me because you are going to be designing today, and I'm gonna be cooking. So I have everything here. I have my ingredients, which you mentioned that I was going to need a lot
of limes. Yeah.
Yes. These are not all. I already squeezed like 10.
Oh my god. Oh no.
But I kept a couple so I could do it here.
Great.
We have the red onions, which I don't know if I can show you very well because I add a lot of water because you mentioned that we need to let it soak a little bit.
Yeah, just so the flavor of the onion isn't that harsh, so you could just put it in water for about half an hour and then it takes out that the smell and the harshness of the onion. Yeah.
It makes sense. I was like, this is interesting. What will be the purpose? Now I know.
Because when you eat raw onion in a salad or something and you're like, oof, that was strong,
Yes. It makes sense because I never thought of it, but in the ceviche, you don't feel it that much. It's kind of a combination of everything. Also have cilantro. I already boiled and cut the sweet potatoes, which
lovely.
Now I seen it like this, and also in squares, like dice.
Yeah. Honestly, whatever works. Yeah. The slices is perfect.
Okay. I made them thin, so they weren't like that.
Lovely.
Garlic, which I have over here, and choclo, the corn. I bought this. I don't know if this is the right one, but because I also tried before with crunchy one, like the toasted.
Yeah, the canchita. Yeah, so good.
And I have ají here, and obviously I have the fish, which I had it with lime.
Lovely.
So, what about you? What are your ingredients?
I'll show you my ingredients. So I'll share my screen. So my ingredients are just kind of all put together now. Basically the same what Andrea just showed us. I had a little bit of the choclo that you had. The ones that are typically used are like the thicker, more lighter yellow corn, but I know that's so hard to find in North America, but the corn that you have is perfect. And I also have a bit of canchita here, which is kind of like toasted corn or like baked corn. It's like corn nuts basically. And then we have some of the onions, a sweet potato. It's typically garnished with a slice of lettuce. Here I have a pisco sour. Pisco sour is a very famous Peruvian alcoholic beverage, and I love to have it with my ceviche as well. They're really strong, so don't have too many. And yeah, just some limes on the side to garnish.
Beautiful. I love this is so you. I love, to I know that it's going to be beautiful with the colors, but right now I'm obsessed because I can see like the lines and the way that you draw everything, which you did it like through the iPad or directly on your computer.
I do it all mostly on my computer. Um, on the iPad, I try to just do like sketches or like annotations that I do as like finishing touches of my work. Um, but I think I'm gonna go super colorful with this. I think this is what's gonna be our background, and just gonna start going from here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna add a little face to the pisco sour as well. Have you ever had a pisco sour before, Andrea?
I had, yes, because before living in Miami, I spent almost a year living in Chile. And you guys are very close, and it's amazing because like the Peruvian cuisine is very, very strong in Chile.
Yeah, so this dish is obviously super nostalgic for me because I moved to Canada when I was like 8 or 9. So I moved to Canada when I was really young from Peru. And even though we kept going back every summer up until I was like 17, I went to school there in my like teen years. When you live away from the country that is so familiar to you, food is such a nostalgic thing for me. And ceviche was a meal that we made for every birthday, Christmas, special occasion, Easter, in our household because it just made us feel closer to home. My family, like my mom, my dad, and my sister, are the only ones from our family that live here, and it just made us feel closer to one another and closer to my family back in Peru. And it's also a great meal to have when you're hungover too, because of the lime juice. And so the lime juice, that kind of like the fish marinade. Typically, it's made with something called leche de tigre, which we're not gonna make today, but it's typically in like other ceviches. Leche de tigre is like lime juice, ají, celery, and a bit of fish, and it's all um like blended, and it's been made into like these like shots of fish and lime juice, and it really helps you with your immune system and get on with your day when you're not feeling well. But I was just gonna say that I also love Venezuelan food as well. I love tequeños, I love empanadas, I love arepas. My boyfriend's also Colombian, so they have their own version of like arepas, but
Yeah.
they're the best.
Well, for me, it has been kind of like you were mentioning about, like that nostalgic feeling when you leave, the country, the people, every time that you prepare, that food. And I mean, especially tequeños, I feel like I'm a very, tequeño person. There is no birthday. My birthday is not happening until, I have a box of 100 tequeños here. It's like, that's basically what we have like in all parties, like no hay fiestas sin tequeños.
No hay fiestas sin tequeños. And I also, because tequeños and empanadas are also, I think, foods that a lot of countries put their own spin on things too. Like when I was just in Peru in March, they had tequeños filled with lomo saltado, and it was just like such an amazing creation. And they had like empanadas rellenas de lomo saltado, and yeah, I love how versatile tequeños could be. Once I finish
The lime squeezing situation, I'm going to put everything in this bowl, and I start asking you how I should mix things together. But
Mhm.
how, I mean, I'm seeing what you're creating is looking so beautiful. Um,
Mhm.
Tell me, what are you doing right now?
So right now I'm shading in the choclo next to the fish. So once you're all done and it's ready to eat, it's typically ceviche is typically had with corn, the canchita that I mentioned earlier with this which is like a type of corn nut, sweet potatoes, and onion. And I like mine with a little bit of ají as well. And because I like a little bit of spice. And yeah, we typically have it with those four things, and of course the piece of lettuce as a garnish sometimes, and a bit of lime on the side, and of course I'll get to my pisco sour later. But I actually had a really good pisco sour when I was in Peru. It was called a maracuya sour, which is basically like a passion fruit pisco sour. So good. If you ever get a chance to try one. There's also lots of Peruvian restaurants in Miami too. Um,
Yes. There are a
that's
lot.
good food.
Fiorella, how did you start in design? How you start illustrating and how this idea, how it started for you, basically.
Yeah, so I actually used to be in architecture. I was working at an architecture firm, and when I was working and was not a college athlete anymore, and I didn't really felt like didn't have as much creative freedom as I did before. I really missed that, so that's how I basically started posting my work online. And that's why I started doing more sport related artwork, because after I was an athlete my whole life and then I'm just a full-time employee, I felt like I had an identity crisis, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I don't know who I am anymore. What is wrong with me?" And I feel like the transition from being a student to also working full time is also hard in
It
itself.
is.
Um, yeah, so then I started posting my work online. It kind of grew out of nowhere, and then I started getting more opportunities in sports, and that's how I kind of grew. Like I did a project with a WNBA 2 years ago and designed a basketball court in Toronto. And after that project, in I think summer of 2023, I was like, okay, I need to somehow make this a career. Oh, sorry, I toggled my mic. I need to somehow make this a career. I don't know how, but I need to work tirelessly to make this a career one day and make this a living. So I was freelancing outside of my full-time job at an architecture firm. And then eventually I just kept getting more opportunities that I couldn't pass up, and started to save up while I was working full time. And in August, so it'll be almost a year now, in August of 2024 was when I quit my job and did freelance full time.
It's crazy. Sometimes, we're super into, like, determined, we're studying this, we're creating
Mhm.
this career, we're following this path. And sometimes, it takes you to another direction because, like, when you start doing it, you realize that something is missing, and
Mhm.
that feeling is very powerful because it does feel very overwhelming when you're
Mhm.
feeling it, but it's gonna take you, it's gonna make you feel, it's gonna make you think, and it's gonna take you at some point to whatever you need to do, you want to do, like your heart feels like cool
Mhm.
doing it. I love when you create all like um, proposals for brands
Mhm.
until they get, they notice you. So
Mhm.
how the idea came up, I think it's genius. I know there is a lot
Thank
of
you.
people that does it, but I feel like
Mhm.
you do it differently and it actually works for you. So what's
Thank you.
the secret sauce in there?
Um, well, I started that when I was trying to grow my social media, and then I realized that, wow, I could actually get clients and this is actually growing my social media. So why not kill two birds with one stone and A, make a brand pitch to somebody, and B, grow my social media and see outreach and put myself in front of key decision makers at these companies. And most of the time, like, people don't respond, and that's totally okay because I've gotten so many more other opportunities based off of things that I did. Like, I remember I pitched to Lululemon on social media before, and I still haven't gotten a project with them yet, but a sports league reached out to me to do a design based off of what I did for Lululemon. And then ASICS reached out to me because of something that I did for what I did for Adidas. Um, so honestly, I just think putting yourself out there and showing brands what you could do could not only just attract them, but could attract their competitors as well. I would say my favorite project would be the WNBA court that I designed. I actually spoke about it earlier 2 years ago in September 2023. That's when I kind of felt like this is the industry that I belong in. I meet so many incredible people every time I go to events, so many like-minded and motivated people. This is the space that I deserve to be in and the place I want to be in. I feel so passionate. I feel so alive as a designer. This is where I feel most myself, and I can grow the most in this space, so I need to be here. That was the project that did it for me, and ever since then I was saving up, because obviously when you go freelance, money is very volatile, and I saved up for a ton of time and just put a plan together. And although it was rough, I'm so glad that I took my time and did that, because I feel like so many people on the internet preach that, like, no, do your passions, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, people need to pay rent. People need to have bills to pay. Like, so
Yeah.
you 100% need a plan. You shouldn't just like jump into it right away, I would say. And yeah, that really kind of helped me. That project lit a fire under my butt to like pursue this full time. So I would say that was my favorite. I would say my least favorite, I had an experience with a client that I knew was undercharging me, but they mentioned, because what they were asking for is I would typically charge 1,200 USD for what they were asking for, but they were like, can you do it for $200, and then for everything that we sell, we'll pay you back in royalties. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Okay, I'll get it back one day. Silly me. Obviously not. That didn't happen because they were expecting me to do all of the marketing and social media outreach for that, which that's not the case. You would have to pay a social media manager to grow your business and grow your account. I'm just a designer. I don't know what you want me to do here. Your stuff isn't selling. That's kind of a you problem. I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, it's been close to a year now and I still haven't gotten that money back, but
Wow.
I realized that, yeah, I mean, I've kind of just accepted it, but I realized that I shouldn't be so trusting of people. B, have a really tight contract in place. And C, royalties can work out depending on what brand it is. So for example, Casetify works with a ton of artists, and I think that they have a royalty-based program, but they do so much extensive social media marketing and post your work all the time and do paid ads, etc., that it would work out for you in the future, and you would probably make more in that payment scheme than you would by just charging an upfront fee. So I guess it just really depends on who it is.
Yeah, I had actually, I didn't took the offer, but it was like a huge brand, and I had, they reached out to me, and it was like that. Like the upfront payment was not, big enough or close to what I will like charge for it.
Mm-hmm.
But they were like, had all this like, oh, you can make money, like through the sales, and for that. So I since I have a full-time job, like I take very seriously what I do on the side.
Right.
Time for me, I wish that I have like multiple hours just to go on and on, because I really love what I do. But I'm very picky with whatever I put my time into it. So for the last
100%.
project that I was getting invited, I decided just to keep going with this one, with the show. It's like, probably the show is not gonna bring me money yet, or right at the beginning, but I believe in this. Yes, that's a short version of my story.
I was gonna say, you should always just invest in things that are gonna help you grow. And through this, through the What's for Design program that you've created, you've been able to connect with so many people and learn about their cultures and their backgrounds. And I think connection is so underrated in this industry. And I think that people who like post a lot on social media forget that like face-to-face connection and trust is so important. And just look at all of the relationships that you've built already. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. And also like the experiences. Because like everything that we shared like here is very human, very real, and is not, even though we are like touching upon design and food, more about, you know, what you can create with your friends, with another person, that moment that you share like your insights and your experiences. I feel like that's like a space. It is a space for it. Which, by the way, I see it's like that you're very, very advanced. I love how it's coming. I need some help here. So I have my fish, which it has a lot of lime. It's covered. I have onions with the water, the sweet potatoes. I have everything. So what should I do first? Like I have a bowl here.
Yeah, so with the fish that's covered in the lime juice, put the onions with it as well. Put a little bit of garlic in there and salt, and then just stick it in your fridge for half an hour. And then once that's done for half an hour, you can plate it with sweet potato and corn. And then that's it. That's it.
And then,
and add the cilantro to garnish as well.
Okay. So basically I didn't know that. I thought that everything was, you know, like together. Like this is something, I mean, I learned from your instructions, but I didn't know that, you know, like the sweet potato was not something that you put like within, was more just like there's, you know, when you're like doing the plating.
Yeah, just because the sweet potato and the cilantro gets soggy if it's in the lime juice for too long, which is why it's more of like an end thing.
Everything is in the fridge. But before we finish this session, I wanted to ask you, what inspires you? Like, what did you do to get inspiration? What is that, you know, that keep you moving?
Yeah, I think what kept me moving was my connection to sports and how I always try to channel that in my work. I think my goal when I make anything is to make people feel seen, feel heard, and supported. I think as designers and creatives, we have an opportunity and also a huge responsibility to speak about current issues that are going on within the world and use our creativity to help spread awareness. So for me, for example, I always choose women's sports because having the experience of being an athlete my whole life and feeling underrepresented has really channeled into my work and given me that fire to continue and to keep going. But also what's really helped me is meeting such incredible people and gaining such meaningful projects. I just did a project with the Toronto Tempo, which is Toronto's newest WNBA team, and seeing that play out and playing a role in that and seeing how excited the fans are and also the next generation of young women who get to see this kind of representation in their own country has been so rewarding, so fulfilling. And I just hope to get more meaningful projects in the sports space and meet more incredible people like you.
Oh my God, I love that. And I want you to know that I'm so proud, like everything that you have like accomplished, that I've been able to see, right, since I know you and I follow you. It just gets me like, wow, this girl. Yes, let's go. You know, like I love what you're doing and you keep doing it. You're doing it amazing. I love your approach. I love your style, and I know there are a lot of doors that are going to be open for you very, very soon. As I mentioned before, the invitation is open for you to cook whenever you.
Yeah, I would love to do arepas next because my boyfriend is Colombian, so I would love to make some arepas for him.
Yes. All right. All right. We can plan for it.
Yeah. Thank you, Andrea. See you soon.